I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it after? Where did all go? Why do we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Bowie, Daniel O'Brien. Two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.
So, hello again and welcome to the 300th episode of Quick Question with Soren and Daniel. I am one half of that podcast, senior writer for Last Week Tonight, with John Oliver, author of How to Fight Presidents, and
oh boy,
very proud podcast host Daniel O'Brien, joined as always by my co-host Mr. Soren Bowie. Soren, say hello.
I don't even think I have two. Hey, I'm Soren Bowie. I'm a writer for American Dad. Oh God, there's nothing else about me. Not a single other thing. That's my identity.
The reason my brain broke in that one is because by the time I got to How to Fight Presidents, sometimes you can't remember what words you used like in the middle of the sentence.
Yes,
and I truly was like, did I say the words Last Week Tonight or did I say something else? I don't know. We're gonna just have to check the tape.
Right.
Now, Soren, it is episode 300.
Is it really?
Yes. And I wanted to do something, I wanted to plan something really special for our 300th episode.
You got me something?
Gabe, did I do that?
Hey, happy 300th episode. Let me check. No, I don't see anything at all.
Okay, so it turns out, no, I didn't do anything special. Okay.
That is so sweet. Thank you.
Just want to do a normal episode, maybe?
I think a normal episode would be great. I didn't get you anything this time. But I also wasn't aware that it was our 300th. How do you know that? Because you listen to the show and there's a number on the...
You can see when it, I follow the show, I subscribe to the show. Mm-hmm. So when, a new episode drops, my phone tells me, and it says episode number 299. Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's so cool. We're in 300. I can't believe we've done 300.
I know.
Look at us.
No one said we would make it this far.
No one said it. No one said we wouldn't. No one knows we do this podcast.
No one specifically said anything about the amount of podcast episodes we could do.
No, they didn't. No one believed in us or didn't believe in us.
Yeah.
It's just
look at us now.
Across the board. That's okay that you didn't do anything. I should have, man, now looking back on it, it would have been cool of me to have done something for 300. But I don't know. What are you going to do, man?
I could put it in my calendar now to do something for 400, but...
That's a long way away.
That's
future Daniel's problem.
That's 2 years from now, right?
I don't know. I don't even know how many weeks there are in a year.
We do, one a week.
4 times 12.
No, just 52. You got to just know 52 off the top of your head.
It's 52.
Is this real?
I can't get it right.
I can't tell. Because 52 is one of the, I don't need to do math for that because it's there are...
You just know.
50 states, there's 52 weeks in a year. There's 12 months in a year.
What the fuck does that have to do with states? Wait, what?
It's just one of the numbers that you remember when you're a kid, when you're allowed to remember things before that all goes away.
On your path from A to B, you have to go through states to know. You're like, well, I forget how many months are in a year, how many weeks are in a year, but I do know that there are 50 states. That triggers my memory. 52 playing cards, 52 states.
Yeah.
No,
I go through weeks. I got to go through all the numbers and it's not 50 because that's how many states, and 50 can't be two things. It can only be one.
When I go to the gym and I pick a locker, a lot of times I'll put my lock on a locker and my lock looks just like every other lock. So I have to be very careful and remember what locker I'm in. When I have to remember a number, I do it based on players that were my favorite as a kid, like Kirby Puckett's 34, Frank Thomas 36. I know who these people are. Magic Johnson's 32. And so I will pick lockers based on that. And then if I don't know somebody's number, 17, I'll be like, okay, well, that's only 5 away from Magic Johnson. And then I just have to remember 5 away from Magic Johnson.
There's This is so funny and relevant. I just did a Bluesky today, where I said one kind of cute thing about people my age is we love remembering and telling you what number various channels used to be.
Oh,
and I feel like that's really adjacent to what we're, and like true to form, people on Bluesky are lighting me up in exactly the way that I wanted. It's just someone being like, Comedy Central was 72. And I'm like, hell fucking yeah, King. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it was 39 for me. Crazy.
I grew up obviously in the middle of the woods and I was raised by wolves, but we had some TV. We had like 2 or 3 channels at first. And then my dad got a satellite dish. And the way that opened up my life, I was probably like 10. And the way that opened up my life was crazy. But a satellite dish, channels are not, first of all, you have to go to like G1, which is an actual satellite up in the sky. You got to go to F1, and that's where all your broadcast TV is. If you go to G2, that's where Comedy Central lives. Like, that's where the other things are. Yeah.
You're missing out. You're missing out on the college experience of just sitting around with a bunch of other people and being like, what was Nickelodeon for you? And it was like, well, thank you for asking. It was 6 and then it became 12. Man, that's nuts. Mine was 44. Wow.
Incredible.
What other differences are there?
I don't wonder why that. I think it's because it's so ingrained in people's memory. Like, it's one of those memories you don't have to reach for, and you didn't realize that it was top of mind. So like somebody's like, yeah, what channel were cartoons on? And you're like, 6. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, they were.
And it's weirdly fun to think of. Fun maybe is not the right word, but in the same way, like there's a groundswell of support for a podcast or a website where you just list guys.
Yeah.
Like people love that, and it's usually 90s baseball players. And it's a lot of fun for like Mike Schur on Bluesky will just be like, Kirby Puckett. And someone will be like, Wade Boggs. And like, now that's the guy's name. There's something like weirdly fun about it. And that's how I feel about just knowing the different numbers of channels, this irrelevant information.
It is. I mean, for some people, it's almost like a superpower. Greg Burke, or maybe it's just a fixation. It's something unhealthy. Greg Burke, I don't know if you know this. Famously, Greg Burke is from Greg and Lou.
Doesn't seem... Oh, okay. I was going to say, it doesn't feel very famous.
And a friend of the show. Greg Burke knows the height of every single basketball player from about 89 to 98.
That's really fun.
He knows, but it was like as a child, that was just the thing that he was like, this is important.
Yeah.
And it's not like he has to recall. It's not like, hey, Spud Webb. He's like, well, Spud Webb's an easy one. That one's the easiest of all of them. It'll be like Anthony Hardaway. Is that his name? Anthony? No, what was
Penny Hardaway?
Oh, it's Penny Hardaway. Yeah. Penny Hardaway. Hold on. I think Penny is a nickname.
Oh. We're finally doing it. We're gonna turn into the Names of Guys podcast, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do such numbers.
Penny Hardaway, real name Anthony Dion Hardaway. Okay,
wow.
So all right, we're off on a tangent where I'm trying to prove my righteousness. That he can just pull Anthony, and like nobody remembers him. And Penny Hardaway you've not thought about those Penny commercials in 100 years, but he just has it on top of mind. He's like, oh yeah, he's 6'7".
Man, there was I was on vacation this year, and you know, sometimes you can't really sleep very well when you're in an unfamiliar bed, and I was like tossing and turning, and I decided to just put on a podcast to, if it wouldn't help me fall asleep, then it would at least like give me something to do that wouldn't bother my wife sound asleep next to me. And it was The Flagrant Ones, which is a basketball podcast that I love. And I forget why, but they just organically transitioned into probably talking about like the next class of players, like maybe the draft was coming up. And they just started naming the players that were in it. I'm sure there was more detail to it. I'm sure they were like giving some stats or something, but man, nothing lulled me to a sleep faster and more gently than just like 3 different guys taking turns saying Cooper Flag, and like the name of the school where he's from, and then some other player's name, Ace. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is the stuff. There should be a podcast that's just names And
That's
it
your
puts me to
ASMR.
sleep. I know.
That's I mean, I understand why it scratches an itch. It's like it's the sounds of people, but what they're saying has no bearing on your life in any degree, and it could never have any bearing on your life in any degree. And so it's just like the same way I did used to listen to ASMR. I tried to convince you to listen to it when I was at Cracked, and you convinced me that it was a sex thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't unkind, I'd say, but I would listen to this one where this woman would put makeup on you, and I was like, oh, a thing I care so little about. But just like the idea of someone like gently touching my face and like being very focused on me and talking to me about like the things that they're putting on while I was like dozing off was, it's just, there's this part of my brain and it was just gently touching it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I get off and then I would go to sleep.
But this isn't a podcast about
Coming?
lists of guys' names or how what gets us there to that sweet place.
What's it about?
It is. Maybe I do want to talk about guys' names because this is our
Great.
super producer and engineer, Gary.
300 names? Should we say 300 names?
Oh, do you think we could? No one said we could. No one has ever said that you and I could list 300 names.
Getting to 197 and being like, oh God, did we do a Coen brother? Just like,
I did. I started writing a joke for Last Week Tonight once where I think we came off a clip where someone struggled to come up with a fake name. And the joke that I had coming off it was how easy it is to come up with names. I can come up with 1,000 names off the top of my head, and I'm not even fucking trying. And he would list a couple of names, and then he would say, see, it's easy. And then continue to list names. And the joke would be how long it would go. Because sometimes when you're a hack, you don't need a punchline. The unsatisfying lack of ending is the punchline. The punchline is how much time we've all wasted together. But even this joke where like I called my own shot and I was like, I bet I could list 1,000 names. And I just start going. You go through and it's like Chris, Mike, Joe, Justin, Darren. All right. That's those
are my friends.
amount of friends that I have. Now let me start doing like Steph, Clay, Draymond, Russell Westbrook. And just start
my other friends.
You go through all of like the different kinds of people there are, and then you're like Xander, Oz, Chandler, Ross, Joey. I guess I gotta Google names now. And I was just writing out so many names for this joke because then it became a sunk cost issue for me, where it's like I gotta keep going. And I think I probably tapped out at about 120 names. Yeah, where it's like this is not fun for me anymore. I believe in my heart that it would be funny for John to list 1,000 names. Yeah. And occupy that much real estate in our show saying names, but I had to pull the ripcord because I couldn't.
It is a lot. That's a lot of names. I think that it's, and you have to ride that wave so well. I think you're right to do it like you do like 10 names and then you're like, and then you keep going. You're like, hey, I did it. See, I can do it that many. And then you just keep going and then you do it again and you take those breaths in between. Yeah. It would get insane after a little bit of time. It would get absolutely nuts.
And I was also trying to like hide the seams. Like I would play the game as I've described, where it's like, here's a list of my friends. No one but those close to me are going to pick up on that.
Daniel's dying of coffee.
No one but those close to me would pick up on that. And then for my role as a writer, I would come up with the game. All right, now let me name another good source of names will be the starting lineup of the Golden State Warriors. But I also can't do that because then the audience would be like, he's naming Warriors players. Why would he? What does that have to do with the joke? So I would have to like mix it up, and you get to a certain point where it's like, well, it's way too loud to even have the name Steph in there if the assignment is a list of 1,000 guy names, because you don't want anything that's going to distract from the meat of the joke, which is a list of names. It's writing is hard, even when it's not.
One of the first things I did at American Dad was there was an episode that we were working on where Francine goes crazy, she like goes off. She's somebody who used to be a little bit wild. We reveal that Stan has been like really keeping her at an average heartbeat, keeping her very mellow. When they go on dates, they go to the Brown Boiler because he doesn't want her to get too excited because she used to be kind of a wild woman. Like she used to go kind of nuts. And Jeff takes her out, and Jeff has a card of all the things he's not allowed to give to Francine, the things that are too wild for Francine, and will get her excited. And that he goes at a restaurant and goes under a table and looks at that card, and it's got hundreds on there. And I sat there. They were like, "Do you want to do this?" Because I was brand new. And they're like, "Do you want to write these?" And I was like, "Sure." So we had some from the room because we had pitched jokes that were for actual dialogue in which people were saying stuff about that was on the list. But then I had to put probably like 60 or so on there. And if you go through and you watch the episode and you pause it, you can see every single one of them. It's like, don't give her cinnamon, it's too primal. Like all these things that are just little jokes that had to be there, but no one will ever see except for like the most diehard fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to come up with those.
Writing can be fun.
Is it?
Speaking of names, our producer Gabe, hit name, he pitched this idea. He was talking about 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's a very famous game, but just in case you don't know it, it is a play on the title 6 Degrees of Separation, which is a play about how we are always 6 people removed. Everyone is 6 people removed from another person. This game, invented by some bored college students in the 90s, were watching TV and they saw 2 movies starring Kevin Bacon back to back, and they thought, man, Kevin Bacon works a lot. I bet Kevin Bacon is 6 degrees from every single actor. And that became a game that somehow spread, like, before the internet, people knew about this game. I have no idea how this game came to me, either working at a summer camp or in college. Someone was like, have you ever played 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? You pick an actor, and then you have 6 moves or fewer to get from that actor to Kevin Bacon. You say, oh, this person was in this movie, which also starred this person who was in this movie with Kevin Bacon. You're always connecting actors and movies to Kevin Bacon.
I've played this game with you, and it's not fun. It's not fun to play with you because every single time I'll give you like Michael Caine and Kevin Bacon, and you would be like, "Are you kidding?" And then you would give me like 2 moves, and it would be one of them would be a movie that no one has seen except you.
Sure.
And it's not fun to play with you because you don't sit there and think. You're like, okay, I got there, but it's 9 moves.
Yeah. Winning isn't fun when you're the loser.
That's true.
But Gabe was wondering who the modern star of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon would be.
We're not about to play this game. We should qualify that. This is not a game we're like, oh, this would be fun for the podcast. We are trying to come up with who Kevin Bacon's old news.
Yeah.
He hasn't been in a movie since Love Actually. Actually, that's not true. I think he's probably been in something else.
He wasn't even in Love Actually. He was not in Love Actually.
He was in Crazy Stupid Love. That's how I play the game, by the way. Equally frustrating when to play it with me because I don't know the name of a single actor. I don't know the name of a single movie. I get it close, but I'm not quite right.
It forms a different game that I play just with myself, which is trying to see if I can translate what you think you're saying. And it's very fun. And I've gotten pretty good at it.
It's amazing. I've become dependent on it. Whatever muscle I previously had has completely atrophied because you'll just save me.
So the criteria of finding the new star for 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, which we need to settle on now, because it is, I think it's kind of a deceptively difficult task. It would be fine to just like name character actors, because there are people like Shea Wiggum who came to mind as like a character actor who is in so much stuff. If you don't know by that name and you Google him, you will recognize him. He was recurring on Boardwalk Empire for a number of years, but you'll also see him like, oh, there he is in The Righteous Gemstones. There he is in the F1 car racing movie. He's probably a mechanic in every car racing movie ever made or that ever will be made. He'll show up. He's in the Mission Impossible movies. He is in Kong Skull Island. He is just one of those,
but he's
that fucking guy that you see everywhere.
But you won't remember. Looking at him, you're like, I know his face. And you're like, what's the single movie he's been in? You would go, surely a NASCAR movie.
Right.
But you can't pick it.
Even though he is probably the fewest degrees from the most actors, I think he's missing the certain Kevin Bacon-ness about this, because Kevin Bacon for a while was like leading man guy.
Like when this game was invented, he was like the star of movies. He was in Quicksilver and like.
Well, he had been the star of movies.
Oh,
I think that feels crucial is that like he made a deliberate shift in the movies he would pick, because he was doing Quicksilver and he was doing Footloose.
Yeah.
And at one point in the 90s, he was just like, if I want longevity, if I want to do the work that I want to do, then I can't be a leading man, because he recognized about himself that like he couldn't open a movie really, and you couldn't bankroll a movie based on him. So we just decided to like seek out character actor parts.
Interesting.
And that's why like he is in so many things.
Showing his dick in Wild Things.
Showing his dick in Hollow Man.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
It's a thing he loves to do.
Yeah. 6 degrees from Kevin's dick. That's the name of the game. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because he's not. You're right. He became like a supporting. I didn't know if that was like a real choice. Because in what's the? Here we go. Here I go on the game. A Few Good Men.
Yeah, A Few Good Men. I mean, that's something that like years earlier, that would the lead in A Few Good Men would be a role that would go to either Tom Cruise or Kevin Bacon. Yeah, but he is like not going for the star making turn in that movie. He's going for like, well, we need a different we need the prosecuting attorney, I believe he played in that movie.
Okay. Well, I think it has to be somebody that you think of and you can immediately name like 6 movies that they've been in at least. Like you think of that person, and so probably they did star in quite a bit. Right. I think another rule that we need to put on here is that it can't be shows. It's got to be movies that they're in. I think that it's not fair to do like, because with prestige television sitting where it is, everybody's also been on television, and the game becomes infinitely easier.
That's true. Game of Thrones is a real shortcut. Game of Thrones gets a lot of actors to a lot of actors very quickly, so we can take TV out of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have somebody in mind.
Okay.
It's somebody who, when I first knew of the Kevin Bacon game, I guess I still assumed that he was a leading actor, because I knew him so well. It was like, he was so clear in my brain, and I was young, and that rarely happened rarely did people pierce the veil of my own ego when I was a kid, and like, actually I was aware of other human beings. So the person that I picked for this, I think, is somebody who is currently in everything I see. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be very easy, maybe too easy to play with this person. Pedro Pascal.
Sure.
6 degrees of Pedro Pascal is like, I don't think you would need 6 ever.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I think that's close if it's not the right answer. I'm trying to invent a reason why
his career was the other direction. By the way, he was somebody who was like he was not a leading man for a very long time. He's in a lot of movies that you've seen, and you did not realize Pedro Pascal was in them, and you would go back and watch it and be like, oh shit, oh yeah. Obviously, Game of Thrones out. Can't have him in there.
This can't be a podcast where I just sit and think. I
have another one for you too, if you want him.
Yeah, well, I was gonna try to get ahead with another ground rule, but I don't think I need to. I mean, just because I feel like there are people who are sitting at home shouting into their phones Samuel L. Jackson because he has worked so much, and I do feel like there needs to be like either a career length or an age cutoff. Because if he's been working for 50 years, then yes, he's worked with a lot of people.
Right. I think it's a mistake to pick somebody who's the same age or older than Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Because that's also the game is not as fun. You want somebody who's currently in a lot of movies. I think that's what makes it interesting is like you give everyone more of a fighting chance if it's like, okay, give me since 1998. Like as opposed to movies that were happening in the 70s and like you're the only one who's still alive who's seen it.
I feel like Pedro Pascal is the right answer unless
I have one.
Unless he morphs into leading man, which he kind of
he did. I mean,
already is a little bit, yeah.
In movies, is he? I guess
he's
materialist.
It's debatable that he is the lead of the new Fantastic Four movie because Vanessa Kirby is like the beating heart of that movie. But I think he probably gets billed first, and he's Mr. Fantastic.
Right.
That feels pretty leading man-y. I mean, they're turning the Mandalorian show into a movie, and it's Mandalorian and Grogu is the title, and he is the titular part in that.
Okay.
But Kevin Bacon was the titular Hollow Man.
That's true. Yeah. Let's see. I want to look back at how, like, when his career even began, that I would have even started. So he did some Spanish movies first.
Yeah. For me, it for sure began with Game of Thrones. And for a lot of other people, it was Narcos.
Yes, but he was in the remake of Ben-Hur. That was like 2016 or something like that.
Good Lord.
Yeah. He was in The Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was after Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, our friend Nick was in that movie.
Yeah.
That is the
Nick.
That is the nice thing that I can say about The Bubble.
I have one other guy that I think might be great for this game.
Okay.
I think probably breaking one of the ground rules, but I want to say why I think it's okay here. This guy is probably around the same age as Kevin Bacon, but his career didn't even start until the late 90s or like mid 90s, and you wouldn't have even known who he was probably at first glance. Well, you would have. Any human who casually watches movies wouldn't have known who he was at first glance until the last probably 5 years. And that's Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins, hell yeah. Walton Goggins is a really good choice if he's got enough name recognition, and I think he does at this point. He's also someone that he came on the scene for a lot of people in The Shield and Shield, Sons of Anarchy, and Justified. He was recurring on all of those shows. I didn't watch any of those shows. Somehow, I always knew who Walton Goggins was, and I don't know how.
I think it was, Vice Principals certainly helped out a lot.
I feel like even by the time I was watching Vice Principals, it was like, this is fun to see a new side of Walton Goggins, but I don't know what I mean by that. I don't know what I thought his other side was.
Yeah.
He must have he's got one of those faces that I see him in Hateful Eight, and it's like, oh yeah, this guy, he's been working forever. Yeah.
Right. And it's so strange. Yes. Strange to see somebody breach that and become a treasured star to everybody.
Yeah.
Once you've already become a character actor.
Right. Like when Garrett Dillahunt got a recurring, like a main cast part in Raising Hope. He's like the father.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Like the grandfather in Raising Hope. Yeah. He's a guy that was like on my short list of that guys popping up in a Coen Brothers movie, popping up in Deadwood, just here and there. Is like every time I see this
in Deadwood.
Yeah. Every time I see this little guy, it's like, yeah, this guy's gonna fucking knock it out of the park. He's gonna get 5 minutes and he's gonna crush it. And then he was just like lead on a network sitcom. I was like, oh shit, what are you doing there?
What happened?
What is this, a reward for your good work?
It does seem like the same way that Premier League soccer players from Europe at the end of their careers, they come to the US because they're like, it's like, I just need a break. Right. I need a place where it's fun to live and where I get to play soccer and I'm better than everybody else.
Right. That's what I learned from Ted Lasso, is that like the worst Premier League soccer is just, or not even worse, but like a 45-year-old Premier League soccer player is just going to dominate any American team that he decides to join. Any American
Just
club.
a huge resurgence in their lives to come here. And I get it. I think that that's true of actors as well. It's like Robert De Niro's doing a bunch of comedies now. He's like, I'm so sick of fucking acting. I'm so sick of giving it every single time. You don't realize what that costs me. So I'm going to do just a bunch of silly movies instead.
There needs to be more actors unconcerned with their legacy to just reach a certain age and just like start popping up and doing stuff. Just like do 5 minutes on set, Mr. Nicholson. Who cares?
In some ways, it was a resurgence. I mean, people like, I would say Alec Baldwin had that. Alec Baldwin was somebody who his trajectory was on the way down, and then he started doing comedy, and everyone was like, oh, I think I like Alec Baldwin a lot.
Yes. And then what happened to Alec Baldwin, Soren?
Well, a lot of things. He was recorded by his ex-wife with some pretty nasty messages that he was giving to her.
That wasn't even a thing.
He shot someone by accident. He shot 2 people by accident. It's been a tough row for him. But like Christopher Walken in Wedding Crashers is another one where I'm like, I think I like this for you. I think I like you as a comedian. Yeah. I think I'm enjoying it.
I like that Steve Buscemi, another incredible character actor. He, has his people that he'll work with. He'll always work with Adam Sandler. He'll always work with Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, whenever they call him up. But he also will specifically seek out young directors, like first-time directors and writers, because just like I'm sure he just knows. Maybe he likes that energy, but I'm sure he also just knows like I'm going to elevate this. I'm going to help this person out. I'm going to do something and I'll learn some new tricks as an actor. And I'm also going to like open some doors for this young writer director.
That's so scary. I can't believe, I'm surprised he does that.
Because of his eyes?
Yeah, because he's freaky looking. He's got chameleon eyes. No, I think it's scary because as an actor, you're so vulnerable. Like you're like, if you give it your all, that doesn't mean that it's going to look good on screen. You can go 100% and like dive headfirst into a role and give it everything. But there's so many other people that you're dependent on to make you look good and to make it look good and to make it look not embarrassing. And a first-time director, there's really no guarantee of that. It's a real risk to be like, oh, I'll elevate this. And then you get there and like, it's just shot wrong or it's cut wrong or the pacing's weird. There's so many different ways that it can be fucked up in which it's embarrassing for you.
Yeah. But it's worked for Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
A guy what I was just seconds ago trying to think of his frequent director collaborators. I was so close to saying Tim Burton because in my mind they work well up. I'm like, no, you know what? I think I'm thinking of Beetlejuice when he turns into a snake monster. I don't think they've actually worked together.
Was that played by Steve Buscemi? No. It just looked a little like him. His eyes were working independently of one another, and I got confused. He's a great one. He would be a good one, only because he didn't really do a ton of TV. So you've got this whole it's tough to play this game when you think of a show and you can't use it because then that's all you can think about.
Yeah.
So Steve Buscemi doesn't really run into that problem.
Well, he did 7 seasons on Boardwalk Empire and was recurring on 30 Rock. But that's okay. He was also doing other stuff. It's fine. Don't beat yourself up. Hey, stay with me, buddy. It's episode 300. You're doing great. Oh,
okay. You know who it would have been? I felt like he was on his way into this role, and it just fell off the face of the earth. Boardwalk Empire person as well, Giovanni Ribisi, could have easily been this type of 6 Degrees of Giovanni Ribisi, but
he could. I'm not positive he was Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, really?
He definitely seems it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that show that is not really fresh in my memory, but I would, if we're putting money right this second, I'm doing 100 on he wasn't in Boardwalk Empire. How'd I do?
I'm looking right now for shows. Giovanni Ribisi, Boardwalk Empire. I don't think he was.
All right. That's money in my pocket.
Yeah. How much did I owe you?
$150?
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's okay. Whenever you can. I'm in LA next week,
Okay.
so.
All right. But yeah, he's somebody who I would have been, he felt like he was going to be a prime target for this game, but he really fell off the map.
Yeah, I thought he was like a frequent collaborator with your boss. I know that he was in the Ted movies and
Million Ways to
Die in the West. Great flick. And I thought that those two just for some reason linked up and like were simpatico and on the same page. I guess I assumed that he was doing a lot of voices for the shows too.
Let me just ask Seth what happened. What's weird? I can't find his number.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's so strange.
You know who if we had opened this up to TV, and I don't know if they would work for this game exactly. Go ahead.
We should just do that. We should have a different version of this game for TV. This is so dumb. There should just be a TV version. Go ahead.
An actor that I love so much, and very similar to Walton Goggins. I don't know when I first saw them or how this all began, but Julianne Nicholson. Every time I see her in anything, she knocks it out of the goddamn park, and she works a lot. She's part of, it seems like the stable of HBO actors that gets booked in a lot of things. Yeah, you've seen her. Yep. She's an I, Tonya.
Tons of stuff. She's the mom, and no, she's not. She's
the coach.
That's right.
Yeah. You talk for a while because I'd like to see. I'm gonna go see what her first movie was and be surprised by it.
Okay. So when I would play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon by myself when I couldn't sleep, I would do it in my head because it is a thing where I don't know the names of movies, and I don't know the names of actors. And the rule that I was giving myself, and probably should be a parameter on this game, is that if you can't name the character, the person that you're connecting them with, you're going to have to go a different route. You can't just be like, the guy from the one movie. You can't do that. It doesn't work. And somebody else has to support you. If it's just me playing by myself, I have to be able to know it all. So I'm like, I can't get there. I never fucking get there because I can't. And also I'm not 100% on the names of most movies. So like, and I know it. I know that if I'm only 80% sure that that's what the movie was called, I'm like, was it Kiss the Girls and Make Them Smile? What was that? Kiss the Girls and Make Them.
I bet
not. And so I play that game with myself, and I can't do it. But it is. I agree. It would be nice to have somebody brand new. Did you figure out what she was in?
No, and you know what? Like I feel like I had a very clear memory of seeing her pop up on I, Tonya, the first of several times that I saw I, Tonya in theaters, and going like, this woman, I love her. I love her every time I see her.
Yeah.
And now going through her IMDb to try to figure out what I meant by that, I don't fucking know.
Well, Deadwood. Deadwood was the first place I saw her.
She is a different person. Deadwood is not Molly Parker. Let's see. Molly Parker.
This is not her.
No.
Where did that come from?
Gosh, come on. Deadwood. Molly Parker. Molly Parker. I was right.
Does she look similar? Oh yeah, she does.
I think she does. I think she looks similar.
The freckles.
You know, I know that you were just doing you were confused and you thought I liked Julianne Nicholson because of someone else's performance on Deadwood.
Yes.
But honestly, that might be it. There might have been something in my brain that reminded me of Molly Parker, whom I also love as a character actress. And my brain was like, so good to see someone I kind of know.
So she's back, baby. Love to see her again. She was so good on Laudlin or whatever that drug was. I'm looking through her old stuff. She was in Tully.
She's certainly, I mean, she's worked a lot. She's worked since 1997. And certainly I'll see a credit on here that she was someone on Boardwalk Empire, which means I for sure saw her in 11 episodes of that show. And she was on Ally McBeal, so I for sure saw her on that. But it's not like seeing Alden Ehrenreich pop up in a movie somewhere and being like, ah, yes, that guy I love from Solo. You know, it's not like I would have seen Julianne Nicholson and be like, ah, yes, Esther Randolph from Boardwalk Empire. Of course. Thank God she's got a big break.
In finally seeing a woman in this game, I'm realizing the mistake I've been making this whole time, which is that we're changing the game of Kevin Bacon, like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, and we're changing it to, I have been changing it to another white guy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it would be probably a good idea to do a 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon with a woman. That would probably be a much better game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna claim to be feminist hero because I said Julianne Nicholson or anything like that. I do agree that it would be fun to do the game with a woman. I think the reason we have an easier time naming guys is because the industry is bad, and it's just
they
easier.
got a smaller window in which they could be famous. Yeah.
Every Ben Affleck movie has roles, meaty roles for 14 male character actors and a woman, and that's kind of it. And he makes a bunch of movies. There's just like a much larger pool of steadily working nameable male character actors.
I mean, if you played the game with somebody, so, let's see, if you were to play this with, like, who's a good example? 1 second.
Scoot McNairy. That's now that's a fucking name,
isn't it? If you played this game with Dev Patel, right?
Okay.
And I'm wondering if it makes it harder or easier, because the fact that he is Indian will be a central point of the movie. It's not like he just gets to exist in movies, except for maybe The Green Knight. Like The Green Knight, where we're like, well, let's just try it. Let's just like try not casting anybody in this. I think that it's going to automatically be about Indian culture, or like the fact that there's an Indian in it. There'll be a reason that there's an Indian in it, which I'm saying is an indictment on the industry. Like, I'm not saying, but I wonder if it makes the game easier, because then in your brain, you have already cataloged, like, okay, well, what's like a movie where I see like where I've seen like an Indian wedding and stuff, is Dev Patel in that. And like, you're going to like find it that way. And which is way easier than just like trying to pluck a character actor out of the air.
Yeah. Should we name more names? Should we just start?
Oh man, let's just name names.
Should we just do it? Should we do the thing we said we're not going to do? Bill Camps.
But I agree with you. A lot of the people that this game is the most fun with were people who have been in every single movie, but you don't recognize them. You wouldn't just like pull, if you saw them on the street, you go, oh fuck, what's that guy from?
Yeah.
It makes the game less fun for people who are like David Morse. Like you can't have this game played by anyone other than you and like anyone who's like a cinephile, because they don't know those people. Like the minute you say like 6 degrees of this person, you're like, I don't know 1 degree of that person. I can't name a single movie that person's been in. So I think it has to be somebody with like real star power at some point in their career, either late or early.
I think Pedro Pascal is the guy. I do think incidentally, one of the things that I've learned about myself is a lot of these games in my brain do happen to run through Boardwalk Empire for whatever reason. Do you have any idea how many times Boardwalk Empire came up on this podcast today?
A lot. You know how many times it comes up all the time on our podcast? It's basically a Boardwalk Empire podcast.
I mean, let's just name some guys from Boardwalk Empire. Steve Buscemi, Shea Wickham, Michael Shannon, Michael Pitt, James Cromwell.
Arguably Giovanni Ribisi.
Yeah, according to many, Giovanni Ribisi and Molly Parker.
Well, they had a lot of celebrities on there. That's a good show.
They did.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I don't think it was a good show, but you know who they had that's fucking great that might work for this game? Yeah, Michael Kenneth Williams was in that, and he was great. Jeffrey Wright could work for this game, but also my man Stephen Graham. Did you watch Adolescence?
No.
Stephen Graham is a fucking beast. Adolescence is a great show. It's really dark and really hard to watch. It's the show that's...
Yes, of course. Yes, I know the movie or the show. He's in another very hard to watch, but you should absolutely see it, movie called This Is England. It's wonderful.
I think you've told me about that before. I think I might have that like written down in a notes app or in a notebook somewhere. But he's been working for a while. He was in... I first saw him in Snatch a million years ago.
Yeah.
And then he popped up in Boardwalk Empire as Al Capone. He's in
Band of Brothers.
He's in Band of Brothers. He's in The Irishman, a movie that most people didn't like, but I've seen many times.
Band of Brothers, by the way, is another sinkhole for this game. Where, you could just pick anybody from Band of Brothers. Although I'll say, we were in the writer's room recently. We're talking about Band of Brothers, and somebody was like, is it good? I'm like, oh, it's incredible. Everybody's in it. And I started naming a bunch of people. Realizing, again, as I'm going, I'm like, oh, I don't mean everyone. When I say everyone, I'm only counting white men.
Yeah.
Every white man is in that movie.
It's such a diverse cast. There's Ted Danson, David Schwimmer. Who else was a tall white in sitcoms?
Chris D'Elia, probably. Yeah, so I agree. Stephen Graham was a very fun choice. But again, I had to go look him up because I just didn't know him by name. I guess now I probably will. But he's absolutely outstanding. He's wonderful.
Yeah. It seemed like the age might not work out, but it seemed like Colin Farrell was moving into a world where he would be perfect for this because he was definitely leading man material for a minute and was titular roles and was front and center on everything and was doing like the kind of star turn roles and then started disappearing into more character actor stuff. And it seemed like, this is a good fit for him. Like it's a shame he's so handsome and you want him to be front and center because he's a really fucking good actor and he disappears into roles. I think he's awesome at everything. And I like that stage of his career. But now it looks a little bit like he is moving back into leading man stuff.
Oh, really?
Which might disqualify him according to the rules of the game that I invented.
So sorry. I wish there was something I could do, like change the rules.
My hands are tied.
Sorry, Colin. I didn't realize that he's a love interest in something now.
He's got, there's gosh, I've been right about so many things on this episode today without Googling anything. And I hate to be wrong now, but he's doing a movie, with Margot Robbie coming out soon.
Crawling around in the weeds. I saw that.
It's some kind of like fantastic. I don't want to say it's written by one of the Greens. God damn it, Colin Farrell, Margot Robbie. Just bite the bullet and be wrong, buddy. It's okay.
A big, bold, beautiful journey.
Yeah, that's certainly why I couldn't remember that name. It's because it sucks.
The director only has one name.
The director only has one name?
Yeah.
Kogonada. Wow. Well,
you learn a new thing every day. This guy's probably done a bunch of... Oh, he did Columbus. Okay, yeah. I should know who this person is. Again, don't. All right. And well, this has been a fun adventure and things Dan knows and Soren doesn't.
Yeah. I think I know. It's written by Seth Rice, and I feel like I know his name by reputation. Is he Colbert? Or is he...
No, Stephen Colbert is Stephen Colbert.
We're having lots of fun here. He was Seth Meyers. Got it. He's definitely a person that I have met and hung out with in real life.
Yeah. Good for him.
And for that reason, I'm excited about this movie. I think the title is good and not long and stupid. I'm not bummed that Colin Farrell is doing it. I think it's awesome.
That bridge looks barely burnt at all.
It's in great shape. Look, I'm crossing it right now. Look at me go.
Walking on, I'm dancing.
I'm a little bit wet.
All right. Well, I think we've done a really good job this podcast of naming people.
Yeah, man. Our 300th episode. I know
we might have got
didn't
through 300
plan
names.
Anything, but gosh, just being able to hang out with you and say things like Bill Camp and just like
good.
and like Tracy Letts. Oh my God, what a day I'm having. John Turturro. You take us out, Soren, and I'll think of some more names.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this podcast. It's a quick question with Soren and Daniel. You knew that. If you liked our theme song, that's by me, Rex. If you like this podcast in general, it's all put together by our sound engineer, producer, and editor, Gabe Harder. If you want to watch a video version, you can do that on YouTube. And if you also like this podcast so much that you want more versions of it than the once a week when we publish, you can also find in our Patreon. We have Patreon exclusive episodes where we also chat. We say some more names. That's
Toby
basically the whole
Cabell,
thing. It's a good one. Toby's great.
Tom Wilkinson, rest in peace.
That's it. Unless Dan has one more he wants to say.
Lee Pace.
Goodbye.
I've got a quick question for you, alright? I wanna hear your thoughts, I wanna know what's on your mind. I've got a quick question for you, alright? The answer's not important, I'm just glad that we could talk tonight. So what's your favourite? How did you get? When will I be remembered? Was it ever? Where did all the right we know? Oh, forget it. Soren, Billy, Daniel O'Brien, two best friends and comedy writers. If there's an answer, they're gonna find it. I think you'll have a great time here. I think you'll have a great time here.